Hey there, survivors. How's it going? I'm your host, Douglas here at Drumboy Productions, bringing you another Screaming Ghostface Collector's video. And today we have a pretty exciting video because I'm going to be teaching you all how you can enter to win the Scream Sweepstakes by Little Shop of Horrors. And by entering the sweepstakes, you're going to have the chance to win this entire Ghostface costume, as well as a little bit more stuff that's not pictured here. So let's go ahead and dive right in. For those of you who watch each video I release, you're probably already familiar with my previous two videos, but for those of you who haven't, I strongly recommend that you go back and watch my videos on the 1996 robe and mask, as well as the video before it on the really nice replica Buck 120 knife. And actually, in the video with the knife, there were a couple of other items featured, like the alien magnet miniature that he sent me, which you guys can purchase those directly from him, painted or unpainted. And then there was also a nice little pile of Casey Becker guts that were just an odd random little throw-in. Now, for those of you that are interested in outright purchasing these items, you can get the robe and the knife directly from Chase at littleshopofhorrorsusa.com or Little Shop of Horrors on Facebook. I should have all of his information on screen while I'm saying this, but just in case you're only listening, Little Shop of Horrors. Now, with the knives, they could possibly already be sold out or they could be available. I believe he only does those in pretty limited batches. And as far as the robes, I think those are available pretty much any time. All right, I have all the information to enter the sweepstakes pulled up and ready to recite to you all. But before I do, I'm going to give you a quick little rundown of what it is that you could win here. And of course, if you want to see my in-depth review on these, definitely check out those previous videos. But let's go ahead and take a look. Let's start off with the mask here. What you have is a modified Gen 2 Scream Stalker mask. Now what that means is this was one of the Scream Stalker costume masks that just had the fabric bib on the bottom. Then someone modified it and sewed one of the actual full-size cotton shroud masks from another Fun World mask onto this, basically making it a full regular, cotton shroud Gen 2. Now, as far as the robe itself, this thing is very well made. It's a super comfortable robe, one of the most comfortable ones that I've ever had. And it does have, for quality of life reasons, it does have some slits in the wrist down here that actually do button shut. And it's just a little bit different, placement for that slit. Sometimes people will put it on the inside, but he's put it on the bottom there. Then as far as the knife, unfortunately I do not have it here in hand. It is currently in the museum, but it is one of the best Buck 120 replicas and best prop weapons I've ever seen. The paint job on it is absolutely beautiful. And then as far as just the actual cast itself, nice, clean cast, well trimmed, everything. So for the lucky winner of the sweepstakes, you're going to have an entire Ghostface costume ready to go. Knife, robe, and mask. Even if it is a Gen 2, I think that this is going to sell that look really well. And just, you know what? I'm actually going to throw in, just because it definitely fits with the package, and I think I have an extra one lying around. And you know what? If you win the sweepstakes, I'm just going to go ahead and toss one in for you. I know it's nothing too crazy, but I mean, if you're already getting the entire killer costume, you may as well have the costume insert as well. Alright everyone, I have all the information ready to share with you all that you're going to need to know to enter in the sweepstakes. A lot of this is very fine detail, nitty gritty, kind of legal jargon, but the information that you need to know to enter this is in here. So it is very important that you do listen to these. You're supposed to read them if you're on the website anyway. I know plenty of people just click over the terms and conditions, but at the same time, this stuff is very important to make sure that you are entering to win. So let's go ahead and get right into it. No purchase is necessary to enter or win. A purchase does not increase the chances of winning. So there you go. Starting off for the eligibility of the sweepstakes. The sweepstakes are open only to those who sign up at the sweepstakes page located at littleshopofhorrorsusa.com/Scream Sweepstakes and who are 18 as of the date of entry. The sweepstakes are open globally but is void where prohibited by law. Employees of Little Shop of Horrors, their respective affiliates, subsidiaries, advertising and promotional agencies, suppliers, and their immediate family members and or those living in the same household of each are not eligible to participate in the sweepstakes. The sweepstakes are subject to all federal, state, and local laws and regulations, void where prohibited. I know this is tedious, but still bear with me because these things are important. Agreement to rules. By participating, you agree to be fully, unconditionally bound by these rules, and you represent and warrant that you meet the eligibility requirements set forth herein. In addition, you agree to accept the decisions of Little Shop of Horrors as final and binding as it relates to the content. The sweepstakes is subject to all applicable federal, state, and local laws. Now, most of you watching are wondering, when does this thing start and when does it end? Well, here's your answer. Number 3, the sweepstakes period. Entries will be accepted online starting on or about August 15th, 2024 and are ending October 1st, 2024. All entries must be received by October 1st, 2024, 11:59 p.m. CST. By the time you're watching this, he has already started accepting entries for this, so go ahead and enter now. Don't wait, think about it later. Go ahead, click on it now. I'm probably going to go ahead and put a link in the description so that you can go over there and go ahead and get your entries in. Number 4, how do you even enter the sweepstakes? The sweepstakes must be entered in 2 ways. Enter by donation at littleshopofhorrorsusa.com/sweepstakes or by downloading and printing the free entry form located at littleshopofhorrors.com/entry form and mailing it to the address that will be on screen. So for those of you watching, you do have a chance to win this entire costume set for free by going and filling out that entry and sending it in to him, or you can give a donation and you can also be entered to win. After all, this whole thing is being done because Chase is trying to repair some roof damage. He just recently bought a shop, and unfortunately, it had quite a bit of roof damage that is going to cost quite a bit of money. So he's trying to sell some robes, knives, masks, whatever he can to try and come up with the funds to fix this roof, and this is also one of the things that is going to go towards that. So for those of you who are interested, consider donating. Moving right along, it says the entry must fulfill all sweepstakes requirements as specified to be eligible to win a prize. Entries that are not complete or do not adhere to the rules or specifications may be disqualified at the sole discretion of Little Shop of Horrors. You may enter a free entry only once, and you must fill in the information requested. You may not enter more times than indicated by using multiple email addresses, identities, or devices in an attempt to circumvent the rules. If you use the fraudulent methods or otherwise attempt to circumvent the rules, your submission may be removed for eligibility at the sole discretion of Little Shop of Horrors. Alright, next up we have the details for the prizes themselves. I did already talk about the costume a little bit, but there is more information given to me by Chase that I'm going to go ahead and give to you all now. The winner for first place will receive a Little Shop of Horrors Scream Sparkle robe, a Cotton Shroud Gen 2 mask, and a Little Shop of Horrors Prop Buck 120 Scream Knife valued at $1,500. Second prize will receive a Little Shop of Horrors Prop 1 Buck 20 knife valued at $200. So you have more than one opportunity to win. There's at least going to be 2 knives given away and 1 full costume. And for the winner of the Scream costume, I'm actually going to go ahead and toss in one of the Father Death costume inserts. So if you get a costume bag and you decide you want to package it like the original Scream 1 costume, you can. Otherwise, I feel like it's still a nice little art piece to have on display next to your nice full Ghostface costume. Alright, time for the rest of the prize information. This is going to be a little bit confusing, but bear with me here. Actual appraised value may differ at time of prize award. The specifics of the prize shall be solely determined by the sponsor. No cash or other prize substitution permitted except at sponsor's discretion. The prize is non-transferable. Any and all prize-related expenses, including without limitation any and all state and/or local taxes, shall be the sole responsibility of the winner. No substitution of prize or transfer assignment of prize to others or request for the cash equivalent by winners is permitted. Acceptance of prize constitutes permission for Little Shop of Horrors to use winner's name, likeness, and entry for purposes of advertising and trade without further compensation unless prohibited by law. I have quite a bit of stuff still to read to you all. It's all going to be very tedious, nitty-gritty stuff, but there are very important details in here, so if you plan to actually enter the contest, please pay attention to what I'm going to say. Number 6, the odds. The odds of winning are determined entirely by how many legitimate people enter the contest. So, if you do not follow directions properly and you are not counted for entry, that means everyone else has a better chance of winning. However, for those of you that actually put in your entry properly, it's eventually going to mean that there's a lower chance of you winning and others winning, but you still have the opportunity to win, whereas you would not if the contest didn't exist, so just go enter. Number 7, winner selection and notification. Winners of the sweepstakes will be selected in a random drawing under the supervision of the sponsor. Winners will be notified via email to the email address they entered with the sweepstakes within 5 days following the winner selection. Little Shop of Horrors shall have no liability for a winner's failure to receive notices due to the winner's spam, junk email, or other security settings, or for the winner's provision of incorrect or otherwise non-functioning contact information. If the selected winner cannot be contacted, is illegible, fails to claim the prize within 72 hours from the time award notification was sent, or fails to timely return a completed and executed declaration and releases as required, prizes may be forfeited and an alternate winner selected. In other words, make sure that you're using an actual functioning email with proper contact information on it. That way you actually can be contacted if you do win. Otherwise, someone else may be selected or your entry may not be counted entirely, just depending on how incomplete or incorrect it is. Moving right along, the recipient by winner of prize offered in the sweepstakes is conditioned upon compliance with any and all federal and state laws and regulations. Any violation of these official rules by any winner at sponsor's sole discretion will result in such winner's disqualification as winner of the sweepstakes, and all privileges as winner will be terminated immediately. Number 8, the rights granted by you. By entering this contest, you understand that Little Shop of Horrors, anyone acting on behalf of Little Shop of Horrors, or its respective licensees, successors, and assigns, will have the rights, where permitted by law, without any further notice, review, or consent, to print, publish, broadcast, distribute, and use worldwide in any media now known or hereafter in perpetuity and throughout the world, including, without limitation, the entries and winner's name, portrait, picture, voice likeness, image, or statements about the sweepstakes, and biographical information as news, publicity, or information, and for trade, advertising, public relations, and promotional purposes without any further compensation. In other words, in the future, if he wants to do another one of these, or if he just wants to show that he has done a contest, he can use your picture, likeness. If you have anything to say about the sweepstakes and stuff like that, he can use that to help promote future ones, and you are not going to be paid for it. Most people that enter, and obviously if they win something, they're completely fine with those images being used and stuff like that, but if you're a very private person, understand that this is something you're signing up for. Number 9, the terms. Little Shop of Horrors reserves the right in its sole discretion to cancel, terminate, modify, or suspend the sweepstakes should, in its sole discretion, a virus, bug, non-authorized human intervention, fraud, or other causes beyond its control corrupt or affect the administration, security, fairness, or proper conduct of the sweepstakes. In such case, Little Shop of Horrors may select the recipients from all eligible entries received prior to and/or after, if appropriate, the action taken by Little Shop of Horrors. Little Shop of Horrors reserves the right at its sole discretion to disqualify any individual who tampers or attempts to tamper with the entry process or the operation of the sweepstakes or violates these terms and conditions. Little Shop of Horrors has the right in its discretion to maintain the integrity of the sweepstakes, to void entries for any reason, including but not limited to multiple entries from the same user from different IP addresses, multiple entries from the same computer in excess of that allowed by sweepstakes rules, or the use of bots, macros, or scripts, or any other technical means for entering. Any attempt by an entrant to deliberately damage any website or undermine the legitimate operation of the sweepstakes may be in violation of criminal and civil laws, and should such an attempt be made, Little Shop of Horrors reserves the right to seek damages for any such person to the fullest extent permitted by law. By entering the sweepstakes, you agree to receive email newsletters periodically from Little Shop of Horrors. You can opt out of receiving this communication at any time by clicking the unsubscribe link in the newsletter. And now we're to a bit of a confusing one for many of you, but it's also a very important one. We have the limitation of liability. By entering, you agree to release and hold harmless Little Shop of Horrors and its subsidiaries, affiliates, advertising, promotional agencies, partners, representatives, agents, successors, assigns, employees, officers, and directors from any liability, illness, injury, death, loss, litigation, claim, or damage that may occur directly or indirectly, whether caused by negligence or not, from such entrant's participation in the sweepstakes and/or his or her acceptance, possession, use, or misuse of any prize or any portion thereof. Technical failures of any kind, including but not limited to the malfunctioning of any computer, cable, network, hardware, or software, the unavailability or inaccessibility of any transmissions or telephone or internet service, unauthorized human intervention in any part of the process of promotion, electronic or human error which may occur in the administration of the promotion or the processing of entries. Mainly this is for, like, if you were to get this robe and mask and decide to go try to scare someone and you get yourself injured in the process. He is not liable for that. If you were running in the robe and you possibly trip and fall and hurt yourself, he is not liable for that. If you decide to approach someone brandishing the prop Buck 120 knife like a real knife and you get injured, or you actually stab yourself or someone with it and you get injured or they do, he is not liable for that. Number 11, disputes. The sweepstakes is governed by the laws of the United States and Iowa, without respect to conflict of law doctrines. As a condition of participating in this sweepstakes, participants agree that any and all disputes which cannot be resolved between the parties and causes of action arising out of or connected with the sweepstakes shall be resolved individually without resort to any form of class action, exclusively before a court located in Iowa having jurisdiction. Further, in any such dispute, under no circumstances will participant be permitted to obtain awards for and hereby waives all rights to claim punitive, incidental, or consequential damages, including reasonable attorney's fees other than participant's actual out-of-pocket expenses. And participant further waives all rights to have damages multiplied or increased. Number 12, we have the privacy policy. Information submitted with an entry is subject to the privacy policy stated on the Little Shop of Horrors website. And luckily, he actually did provide me a link here so I don't have to read all that out, but let's move right along. We have the winners list. To obtain a copy of the winner's name or a copy of these official rules, mail your request along with a stamped, self-addressed envelope to Little Shop of Horrors. And lastly, this promotion is in no way sponsored, endorsed, or administrated by or associated with Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, Pinterest, LinkedIn, or Google. You understand that you are providing your information to the owner of the sweepstakes and not Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, Pinterest, LinkedIn, or Google. And with that being said, I think that finally about covers it. So, for those of you who are interested, I strongly recommend that you go enter in the Scream Sweepstakes by Little Shop of Horrors. Thank you all for watching, and if you have actually watched the entire video, let me know in the comment section down below that you watched this full thing. I'm sure that a majority of people are going to skip through this, they're not going to follow the directions, and they're going to be really lost and really curious as to why their entries weren't counted. But for those of you who do follow directions and you enter properly, I wish you the best of luck, and of course I will be tossing in one of the Father Death costume inserts for whoever ends up winning this beautiful Scream 1996 costume. And if you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to like and subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. I love you all. I have more Halloween content coming very soon. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.